Hey guys, it's Haley and welcome to another bookish video. Y'all can probably hear my laptop fighting for its absolute life in the background of this clip. I'm trying to export a video, which y'all have definitely already seen. I just got done editing the every horror book I've ever read tier ranking video that I'm about to post. So very excited for y'all to see that. But I also want to start my thriller reading vlog for this month. We are reading 4 new release thrillers in this vlog. Let's go through them. I am starting with Daisy Darker by Alice Feeney because I've just been seeing a lot of hype for this. I've been hearing people say that they really like it, and it's a rainy, dreary day. So I feel like this kind of cover, this kind of atmosphere is the vibe. So that is what we're going to be starting with. But we're also going to be reading The Last to Vanish by Megan Miranda, Girl Forgotten by Karen Slaughter, and The Family Remains by Lisa Jewell. I have been avoiding filming this vlog, to be quite honest, because these are so many of my most anticipated books of the year, and I'm terrified. I'm terrified that I'm gonna hate them, and I really don't want to hate them. So let's go ahead and dive into Daisy Darker. I'm scared! And hopefully I won't have to drag it on the internet. Starting off strong with a little prologue that is basically saying this is like based on a true story, like part of this is true, da 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 da. I love that already, just like setting the atmosphere. Let's dive in. Hey besties, I am about to jump into some meetings and sessions that I have tonight, but I did get about 60 pages into Daisy Darker, so I wanted to give you some quick thoughts. So I realized I never gave you a synopsis because I didn't really know the synopsis, but this is basically a Knives Out-esque kind of situation where a fortune teller person told the grandmother of the Darker family that she was gonna die before her 80th birthday. So the whole family, the whole Darker clan is getting together to celebrate the grandma's 80th birthday, and they're all pretty much sure she's gonna die at this point, which is kind of morbid, but they are ready to collect on their inheritance. And I think I just got to the chapter when the grandma's about to die. It says that in the synopsis on the back cover that she is gonna die, and we have to figure out who did it and why. I love a whodunit. I also love the vibes in here. The crazy family dynamics are so interesting. Every single person, every single character has a very defined character. I know exactly who these people are. They are just on the edge of being caricatures while staying in kind of the realistic realm. And I just love the vibes of the island. This home that the grandma lives in is like very dreary and stormy and mystery vibes. It just feels a lot like the setting of The Guest List by Lucy Foley, and that is one of my favorite book settings I've ever read from. So I'm just really enjoying this one so far. I'm excited to get into the actual murder mystery thriller aspects of it all. But right now I need to make some dinner and eat so I can do my meetings and sessions tonight. So that's what I'm about to do. I want wine, but I have late meetings, so I cannot have wine with dinner. Kill me. So I guess each time somebody dies, they get a poem, and it is so cool and just interesting and haunting. Oh my god. And obviously y'all knew Nana died. It's literally the whole point of them all going there and like reading the will or whatever. So don't get mad at me and yell spoiler. I'm just gonna show you all the first one, but I'm guessing after every death, there's gonna be a poem. Hi vlog, I am a little over a third of the way into Daisy Darker. Many creepy things have happened and I'm just completely sucked in. I love it so much. I'm about halfway done with my meetings. I just had a little break, so I read a little bit more. I'm about to do the other half of the things I have to do today and then diving back into here because I'm loving it. If you like those creepy whodunit haunting mystery stories, this feels like modern Agatha Christie vibes. If you like that, you will love this book. Also, the little creepy poems just add something else to the story. The atmosphere is great. We're getting like home movies from the 80s that are appearing on the doorstep labeled "Watch Me," and then it's like one of the sisters doing some creepy shit as a child. Oh my god, it is so good. There's also a lot of creepy child stuff in here if you like that kind of a trope. I'm loving it. Gonna go do my sessions and I will update you later. Vlog. It is much later. I had early sessions today, like 8 to noon type beat, and 4 therapy sessions from 8 to noon is just simply a lot. So I ended up just coming home, doing my little self-care routine and reading some, but then I fell asleep because of course I did. Laying in bed after a nice hot long shower with 2 little puppies, lighting candles, you know, everything smelling good. Of course I'm gonna fall asleep. But I got to page 254. So I'm a little over 3/4 of the way through with Daisy Darker. And it's a lot of family dynamic stuff that is coming out. It's a lot of flashbacks with these VHS tapes to the past, and then seeing kind of the implication that that past has on the present right now, what's going on with the murders. They keep happening and I'm intrigued how this book is gonna wrap up. It is dragging just a little bit because it feels like, okay, we're just learning about the family. Can I get a twist anywhere? I feel like because it is just a very standard whodunit murder mystery, there's not the like shocking twists that I'm used to with Alice Feeney books, but I definitely don't hate it. I'm still enjoying my reading experience, so I will probably make some dinner because I haven't eaten all day, and then finish this book and let you know the tea. I got my first Squishmallow and it has become Boba's. She loves it so much. She's always taking a nap on the squish. Yeah. I need to just say that I knew it. Unfortunately, I knew it. I guessed 2 of the major twists. Not 1, but 2 of the major twists in this book. I feel like this always happens with me and Alice Feeney. It's a good book. I enjoy it. I enjoy the commentary. There's some beautiful quotes in here that I have been taking photos of. It is really gorgeously written, but I am predicting the twist. Hello vlog. I have finished Daisy Darker and I'm here to talk about it because I don't know how to feel. This was a hard one for me to rate and write a review for because out of the 4, I would say, major twists, I guessed 2 of them. I predicted 2. I knew 2 of the things that were going to happen. I felt completely confident that I knew exactly who the killer was and that I knew the true identity / backstory of one of the characters. And I ended up being right about both. However, I feel like 2022 for some reason is the year that thriller authors are letting themselves branch out and be creative, because there are so many thrillers with random speculative twists, and that is what happened at the end of this book. Something just like happened. There were two twists back to back that just was like, they seemed completely and totally impossible in this realm. So you had to suspend your disbelief, and I was just not on board with that. I would say I'm on board with a speculative twist in a traditional thriller about 50% of the time. When it works, it really works for me. When it doesn't work, it really doesn't. And I feel like setting up a story that is a traditional whodunit mystery, I wanted something that was a very straightforward thing at the end. It could have been twisty and had layers like at the end of the guest list, but that's not what happened here. It just like kind of went off from what I wanted. I did not get on board with the two twists at the end, although I did not predict them. They did shock me. I just wasn't on board. I don't know if I completely loved the end. So I'm gonna go ahead and rate DC Darker a 3.5 out of 5. The writing is beautiful. There are some amazing quotes in here. I loved the talk about family dynamics and intergenerational trauma as well, but the actual execution of the thriller plot at the end just didn't have me 100% sold. I feel like it's not quite a 4-star, but 3-star would be definitely underselling it. So I'm landed on a 3.5. The next book that I'm going to be picking up for this vlog is The Last to Vanish by Megan Miranda. I have this on audio from Libro. Thank you so much, Libro, for sending over this audio. And this is a thriller about missing girls. It's a typical small town vibe. Girls have gone missing over the years, and nobody has really looked into it. Then there is this woman, and she decides to investigate. I believe she's like an investigative journalist or something like that, and she wants to look into these disappearances, but then she ends up disappearing herself, and supposedly that's why the title is The Last to Vanish. She's like the cherry on top for this guy who is taking these women. She is the last to vanish, and she will never get to expose him. So I'm gonna go ahead and start that, and I will let you know when I have thoughts. Good morning, vlog. It is the next day, obviously, and I actually made it a third of the way into Last to Vanish last night. I wouldn't say is fast paced, but it's just really intriguing. I got a little bit of the synopsis wrong when I told you. So the investigator is not who we're following, which I enjoy so much more than an investigator perspective. Basically, this journalist had been investigating the disappearances. It's a man. But thank God we're not following his perspective. He stayed at this inn, and that's where he disappeared from, and that's where a lot of the previous victims had disappeared from. So now his brother has come to the inn to stay and investigate and see if he can find any clues about his brother's disappearance. But we don't even follow his perspective. We are following the perspective of one of the women who works at the inn, and so she has like stakes here in these disappearances, because now she's wondering, you know, so many people are going missing at the inn. Is it somebody that I work with? Is it the owner? Is this inn caught up in some kind of darker thing? So it's just a really classic investigative thriller. Like, our main character and the brother are like teaming up, going around, finding clues. And I also really like the atmosphere. It's very like outdoor, remote cabin vibes. This would be a really good read for like a dreary, rainy day. I just love the atmosphere. So yeah, things are going really well with Last to Vanish. I know Megan Miranda's kind of hit or miss, not only for me, but for many people. But this one is looking like a good one. It really reminds me of The Perfect Stranger, which I absolutely loved, mainly because of the atmosphere. I think that's something Megan Miranda does really well. So I am about to go to a bunch of morning sessions, and then after that I am going to get brunch with some of my neighbors, and we're gonna do like a little work from home situation where we all bring our laptops and like do some work at this brunch place. I'm very excited for my day, but I don't know the next time I'll get a chance to read is. When I know, I will let you know. Hey vlog, I am on my way out the door to go do a little work from home meetup with some of my neighbors and one of my friends. But before I do, while I was getting ready, I got to the 67% mark in Last to Vanish, so I wanted to update you. There's a lot of just clue gathering at this point, and I feel like the book isn't doing a lot of work for us, if that makes sense. Like, it's a lot of me putting things together on my own, which I can't quite tell if I like or not. But it doesn't feel very high stakes right now. I don't really feel close to the characters. I don't really care about them too much. And it's a lot of telling, you know? It's just like,
she thought this. I thought her assessment was this.
Oh, just the writing style, and I always have this issue with Megan Miranda books, is not, doesn't have a flow that I'm loving. And especially when it's in audio, it's like really obvious. So yeah, that's kind of how I'm feeling but I'm about to go get some work done. So I will see you later. Hey guys, it's the next morning. I know I'm wearing the same outfit. Okay, listen, I like my cutie little outfits, so don't even talk to me. I did not finish the book last night because I ended up going to my best friend's house. She's my maid of honor. I love her and her boyfriend, and we just like sat around and drank wine and had a little kiki while they were like packing up and trying to move. So I was actually over there for like 7 hours until into the night. So I didn't read too much. I did make it to the 80% mark of Last to Vanish. It's just not giving. You know, it's just not giving. It's just not too interesting. The characters are flat. It's like reveals are happening, and for some reason it just doesn't shock me. It's just like, okay, and so I don't know. I'm not loving it. It's just like very average at this point, but I'm going to get my nails done because hello, look at how grown out these hoes are. And I will listen to the rest of the audiobook hopefully while I am there, and then me and Cameron have to run some errands today, so I will just let you know when I have things going on to tell you. I want them all. I literally want them all. I want it all. I literally want them all. Like, where's the Coven one? Is it big Coven? I'm getting Chucky. This is my favorite place in the world.
I like this one. It's just to the point.
Y'all, get ready for a This is my favorite place on earth. This is literally my favorite place on earth. I'm so happy. Bruh. Hey guys, we are back from shopping. Gosh, Costco was literally crazy. Costco in the suburbs on a Saturday is literally my nightmare. But we got all of our errands done. I already put on my Chucky shirt. I literally love it. I'm so happy that Spirit Halloween is open. All of our Stranger Things stuff was already sold out, but I did get a lot of horror merch, so I'm very happy with my purchase. But when we got home, I quickly finished up the Last to Vanish by Megan Miranda. Y'all, you can skip this one. I just gotta say, I'm gonna give this book 2 stars. Nothing really happened, and at the end when things were being revealed, I wasn't invested at all, and I just didn't care so much that it's like the reveals had no impact to me. I don't know. It just wasn't my favorite thriller. It was very, very, very boring. I think if it wasn't on audio, I definitely would have DNF'd it. And I saw a lot of reviews that said that they were DNFing, that nothing happened. So I feel like my opinion is pretty solid there. Pretty widely accepted. This is not a hot take, I don't think. It is not one of my favorite Megan Miranda's at all. I don't want to own this one physically. I'm glad I didn't spend money on it. So this is one, if you're trying to prioritize 2022 releases, that you can probably skip out on. The next book I'm going to be getting into, however, is one that I hope is really, really good, and that is The Family Remains by Lisa Jewell, which is the follow-up to The Family Upstairs. I didn't love The Family Upstairs. I thought it was okay. It is my least favorite of all of Lisa Jewell's books, but that's not saying much because I absolutely adore all of her books. So I still, I still enjoyed it. I thought it was a little bit boring, a little bit draggy, kind of like The Last to Freaking Vanish that I just read. So we'll see if the sequel is any better. And of course, I'm going to give you all the tea on if it's like 100% necessary to have read the first one and all of that stuff. So when I get into it and I have some thoughts, I will let you know. Hello vlog, good morning. It is the next day and Cameron is kind of feeling ill and now I'm kind of feeling ill. So this might turn into a little bit of a low energy sicky vlog, but the good news is I did make some progress in The Family Remains. I am a little over a quarter of the way through and I'm really liking it. This always happens with me and Lisa Jewell. I just love her writing style. There's a certain flow where I start reading and it's just like the story is unfolding. It doesn't feel like I'm reading a fictional story. It feels like I'm just in the world. That's the best way that I can describe it. I just feel so connected to her characters, especially already having so much background from The Family Upstairs. If you haven't read that book, it kind of has cult vibes. It's about a girl who knew nothing about her family, but then someone in her family dies and she gets this huge inheritance, including this house where a lot of people in her family were and ended up dying, ? It was like this huge family tragedy. And by the end of the book, she figures out the story of her family. There is like a very strong cult vibes there. And she figures out if she has any remaining family. So this is where we're picking up in The Family Remains with the surviving family members that Libby had discovered in the previous book. And there are also some just like ambiguous parts of this book that are adding so much more to the story. Like there are a couple chapters just like sprinkled in. We return to it every like 5 or 6 chapters or so. And it's just like this horrific body being discovered and like pulled out of the River Thames, which this is also a British thriller, so y'all know I love it. So yeah, I'm really liking it. I'm really intrigued. It is so much better than the first one in my opinion. I think the first one dragged and this is not like that at all. It is typical Lisa Jewell where I'm jumping in, I'm into the story, I'm intrigued. It's not slow, it's not meandering, it is just good. So I'm gonna continue reading this today. Hopefully I will have the energy to get through a pretty good chunk of it before I have to go back to reality of Monday tomorrow. Hello vlog, still not feeling the best, but honestly, this book is helping because it is totally distracting me and I'm just losing myself in it. It is super, super fast paced. I am already past the halfway point and I just can't wait to keep reading and figure out what happens. It has completely sucked me in so much more than the first one. I feel like even if you didn't feel connected to the first book, still give this one a try. It is so much darker than the first one though, so do be prepared for that. There is on-page sexual assault, on-page rape, which I know is very controversial and very difficult to read about, so just know that going in. Obviously though, there is commentary and things that go with that. It's not just for no reason, and it's not super graphic, but it was dark and disturbing, as all SA scenes are. So know that if you want to read this book. But I obviously love dark graphic thrillers, and the pacing of this is just so fast and so intriguing that I felt like it just made the stakes of the story so much higher. I love it so far. I love Lisa Jewell's writing style and the way that she develops characters. So I am pretty much living for The Family Remains right now. I'm gonna make some dinner, try to actually nourish my body while I am trying to recover from this, and hopefully I can get a little bit more into the book tonight. It's the next morning. It's 9 a.m. I'm being attacked by a chihuahua. Asked me if I read anything. No. I got sucked down an extreme horror rabbit hole on TikTok.
If you keep licking me, I will pull your tongue out of your goddamn mouth.
I stayed up until like 3 in the morning, going down an extreme horror rabbit hole on TikTok. And now I have about 1 million books that I want to read in the extreme horror genre and not read thrillers. But you know what? I'm going to finish The Family Remains for you at least and give you my review. Let's go. Hi guys, sorry if you can hear construction in the background. They're literally going crazy. It has been like this all day. When will the day come when I don't have construction outside my fucking apartment? That will be the motherfucking day, huh? Yeah, well, it's not today. Can you tell? I hate it. Anyway, also, it looks like I have AirPods in right now. I don't. I have just a little ghosty friend with me. I love these little earrings. I am just ready for fall. I'm dressing like it's fall. There's gonna be ghosts. There's gonna be pumpkins. There's gonna be bats. There's gonna be all of it. So yeah, I did finish The Family Remains by Lisa Jewell, and y'all, this was such an easy read. I know I say this every single motherfucking time I read a Lisa Jewell book. It is just so good. I believe Lisa Jewell and I are soul sisters. I think if we ever met, the conversation would just flow and flow. Like we've known each other forever. Like I just love her writing style. There's something about it that I connect with. There's something about the way she develops characters that I feel is just so genuine. I just can't describe it. It feels like I'm sucked in and I'm not reading a book. When I'm reading her books, it feels like I am experiencing another reality. I know that not everybody understands that. Not everybody understands why I give all of her books fucking 5 stars, but guess what, y'all? This is a 5-star book.
It's flawless. To me, it's flawless.
I cannot pick out anything about this book that I didn't like. It was fast-paced. It was sinister. It resolved everything, but still had this air of like, ooh, what's happening next? That kept you guessing. I feel like it totally redeemed the first book in the duology for me, which previously was my least favorite Lisa Jewell book. Least favorite. I still gave it 4 stars. I still did enjoy it, but it wasn't on that level of every other Lisa Jewell book for me, where it's 5 stars, I'm in it, I'm connected immediately. And this brought that to this story for me, which I really appreciated. I think she saw the mixed reaction to the first book and she completely redeemed herself. I freaking love this story now. I freaking love these characters now. I love it. And I really super appreciate all of the LGBTQIA rep that Miss Lisa Jewell puts in traditionally published thrillers that all the 50-year-old white moms are gonna read. It's very hard to be in the thriller genre and constantly be reading about like straight, white, affluent couples who are having marital problems, because that's like every traditionally published thriller. But not Miss Lisa. She gives us these interesting characters that feel like a little bit more of a caricature than somebody you would like meet on the street. And I absolutely love it. I love it. I could sit here and rave about it all day, but y'all get the point. It is 5 stars. Oh, and you do need to read the first book in order to understand that. This one, it is pretty essential. And if you've heard my review of The Family Upstairs or other people's reviews of The Family Upstairs and you've thought, it's not worth it, girl, getting through that book is 100% worth it to understand this one, because this is a masterpiece. I freaking love it. I'm obsessed. I'm so happy that this book did not let me down, because when I heard that this was my Queen's 2022 release, I can't lie, I was a little scared, but I loved it. I loved it, loved it, loved it. That means that we are on to the last book of this vlog. Probably, definitely the one that scares me the most, and that is Girl Forgotten by Karin Slaughter. We match, me and this book match. I did not do this on purpose, but I'm kind of loving it right now. This book is terrifying to me, not only because Karin Slaughter is my favorite author, she's probably what I'm known for. My brand is recommending pretty girls. I did not like Pieces of Her, the book that this one is kind of like a follow-up on. I'm not sure if it actually spoils anything in Pieces of Her. I'm pretty sure it just takes characters from that novel and continues a little bit of their journey in a totally different storyline. So I will definitely be letting y'all know if this does spoil anything in Pieces of Her, but I did not like that book. So I'm not sure how I'm gonna feel about this one. I'm hoping it does what The Family Remains just did and redeemed the first book, but it's also super, super long, and I'm just always nervous about Karin Slaughter releases, because I feel like I have to love every single one of her books because I just love her. And it will invalidate Pretty Girls being my favorite book if I ever don't like one of Karin Slaughter's books, which obviously isn't true. But you can tell my mind is going a million hours a minute, because that is where my brain is ending up. Anyway, this book is set in the 80s, and we are following a girl and she's getting ready for her prom night. I love the 80s prom vibes. And little does she know while she's getting ready that it will be her last night alive. Flash forward to present day, we follow one of the female investigators from Pieces of Her as she is working on this cold case of the murder of this little 80s prom queen that has never been solved. And she's trying to figure out what happened and tie it to something that's going on in present day. Very typical Karin Slaughter mystery format. I'm very excited to see how it unfolds. But before I start reading her, I have to do quite a few things. Somebody bought Audition from my Pango bookstore, so I'm gonna go mail this out right now. Y'all, can we just talk about this for a moment? Not talk about Audition, because horrible book. But this is the thing, when I drag books and then y'all go on my Pango bookstore and buy them, it baffles my mind. Like, I get it. I know you might still be interested, even though I gave it a bad review. I know everybody has different opinions, blah, 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 blah. But y'all, like, if you're buying from my store, you probably watch my videos, or you probably know who I am, and you know that I hate this and you bought it. That's funny, but girl, I'm gonna send this over to you right now, whoever bought it. Thank you very much for your purchase. I also have to film a TBR sponsored by Book of the Month, which y'all have probably already seen, and I'm so freaking excited. This video is gonna go up way after, so I can show you guys. I love getting sponsored by Book of the Month. Number one, because I love them. They're a wonderful company. But number two, because I get the books. Kelly's of a certain age. Freaking, I matched this one too. Beautiful. Love it. So excited. But this was the real kicker for me. Look how the brain by Ellie Hazelwood. I'm so excited. Look at this man.
Look at this man.
I know it's an animated man, but I was trying to express to Cameron when I got this book in the mail, like, why this man is so important to me and my trajectory on Earth. And he just did not understand. He's like, it's a cartoon man. I'm like, no, you don't understand that this drawing of a man just lets you know what will be inside the book. He's giving soft dom energy. He's giving grumpy sunshine just already. It's the long floppy hair with the green eyes, please. I'm so excited to read this book. You know I'm gonna be reading it immediately. Very excited about this one as well. So, gotta film that TBR, gotta run to the post office, and I have a few other errands to run. I might just go ahead and pop into Target and see if they have more Halloween-y stuff out. But yeah, that is the plan. I will let you know when I make any progress at all in Girl Forgotten. Hello vlog, I have had a pretty busy morning, but the good thing is I had a lot of stuff to do that was very like mindless. Like I had to do laundry, I had to sort some like tax stuff online, I had to send out reminders, post Patreon polls, like just all the like little computer tasks that you push off and push off and push off. So I was able to do that while I was listening to the audio for Girl Forgotten. I actually got it, I just bought the audio because I tried to read this physically last night and I just could not get into it at all. My eyes literally closed the second I started reading. I think I reread the first chapter like 3 times before it sunk into my head. I just could not read it physically, but the audio is going a lot better for me. I am about halfway through, a little less than halfway through at this point. And honestly, I don't love it. It is a lot of just like uncovering different things that happened long ago in this cold case, and I don't love it. It feels very, very similar to Pieces of Her, which y'all know I didn't love. It is my least favorite Karen Slaughter book that I've read, and it makes sense that it kind of has the same feel because we are following one of the same characters. Andrea, the main character of Pieces of Her, has shown up again in this book. Now she's a US Marshal, so she is not really involved in a case, but she's instead investigating a case, although she does have a little bit of involvement in it, but that's a spoiler, so I don't want to give that away. I don't think you have to have read Pieces of Her to enjoy this book, but I don't know why you would read this without reading Pieces of Her. I mean, maybe if you heard good reviews of this and not Pieces of Her, then that could be a deciding factor. But if you ever do want to read Pieces of Her, obviously you should read it before this. I think if you read a quick synopsis of Pieces of Her, you can go into this and know exactly what is going on, but you definitely don't want to go into this before Pieces of Her. That just wouldn't make any sense, but also it spoils pretty much the entire plot. So this is not a standalone novel at all. There is some background that I feel like would be helpful, but they also kind of recap the entirety of Pieces of Her at the very beginning of this book. So I don't know. I feel like this would have been a lot better if it didn't connect to the story of Pieces of Her, because the plot is like super connected and I just don't like that. I thought we were getting, you know, Andrea, this main character, recovering from the events that happened in Pieces of Her and moving on with her life and becoming an investigator and taking on this other unrelated case. I did not know going in that this case of the prom queen girl who got killed, I didn't know that was somehow connected to Andrea, so it's like basically the same exact format of Pieces of Her, and I just don't really enjoy it. So it is interesting to like hear what's happening, but I just don't care about the characters because I did not like Pieces of Her. I didn't care about the situation. It's not crazy dark like typical Karin Slaughter, which is I think why I didn't love Pieces of Her, because the characters are fine, not as like super endearing as any other Karin Slaughter book that I've read, but it just doesn't have that like same dark grittiness that I love when I'm reading a Karin Slaughter book. It's just like police procedural vibes, and I'm just not really down with that. I feel like it's super boring and it drags. So this sucks. I'm not loving it, but the audio is, you know, something good to have like a story in the background as I'm trying to get things done. So I'm not hating it, but I would be lying if I said I wasn't a little disappointed by what's going on. Hopefully I will make some more progress throughout my work day, and I will give you guys a review either tonight or tomorrow morning. Hello vlog. Why do I look like I'm in the army? Like, what is this with the tight bun? Bye. I'm literally just about to go do sessions, but before I ran out for my day, I wanted to give you a final update, final review on Girl Forgotten.
And of course, as soon as I start fucking talking in the first 20 seconds, these dogs want to run around and sip their fucking water. Y'all have been asleep for the past 20 minutes.
I don't understand why they do that. Please hold for dogs. All right, let me tell you what I thought about this book, because I ended up just binging it last night after my friend left, and it was a little bit of a struggle to get through. I'm not gonna lie, if I didn't have the audio, I definitely would have DNF'd it. It gave me the same exact vibes as Pieces of Her. It just didn't have the grittiness and the shocking twists and the emotional depth that I usually expect from Karin Slaughter, so I didn't feel as connected to it. And then on top of that, it had a twist that just really left a bad taste in my mouth. I just didn't like it. Okay, I'm not gonna spoil what happened in the book, so y'all don't fucking freak out about that. But I'm gonna say the type of twist that's in here, because I feel like it could be triggering for people. And this isn't like, oh my God, it's so dark, it's so triggering. Like, no, this is just weird. This is weird, okay? So I am gonna talk about the type of twist that's in here. If you think that's a spoiler, because I always have people in my comments being like,
you said there were speculative elements in there? That's a spoiler.
Okay, girl.
if you want to know nothing to the no, leave. But I am gonna give light, not spoilers, just light categorizations of the type of thriller this is. Basically, there's a twist towards the end of this book that relies on exposing a character's sexuality as like a shocker. And I did not like that. It just put an extremely bad taste in my mouth. And it felt like what Miss Karin was trying to do was good-hearted. It had good intentions behind it, because I could tell she was trying to be a little advocate, you know, saying like, it's hard to be gay in the South in the 80s. Like, yeah, no shit. But I just don't like that a twist in a thriller that's supposed to be thrilling and shocking was like,
they're gay?
like, it just, I don't know. Do you know what I mean? I just didn't enjoy that part of it. And then the rest of the characters' reactions to it, I didn't love. So, I don't know. This one is hard for me. It was exactly what I feared, that I didn't like this one as much as I was wanting to. It's why I had so much trepidation. I would say this one and Pieces of Her, you can skip. You do not have to read these. I'm still struggling with my rating because I do think it was a well-crafted story other than that one twist that did not sit well with me. So I feel like I want to give it a 3-star. Like, it's definitely not a bad book. The writing was great. The character development was great. The way that the story unfolded was great. It was just not interesting to me. It was very boring to me. And I personally didn't feel connected to the characters. But I feel like if you like police procedurals, or if you feel more connected to these characters than I am, this could easily be a 5-star book. I know there are plenty of people out there who rated Pieces of Her 5 stars. I gave Pieces of Her 3.5 because I thought it was a great story. You know, it was told well, but it just didn't interest me all that much. And this is giving very much the same, but that little twist, I feel like I have to take 0.5 stars off. So I'm just gonna go ahead and rate this 3 stars. You know what? You might see my wrap up and that might change, but right now this feels like a 3-star. Overall, I feel like this was very half and half. This vlog was very like vibes other than The Family Remains. I loved The Family Remains so much. Y'all have to go pick that up. If you haven't read The Family Upstairs, read both, binge it on a rainy, gloomy day. That would be so, so fun. Skip Girl Forgotten in Pieces of Her. You don't need them. Last to Vanish is trash. Do not waste your money on that boring piece of shit. And Daisy Darker, I feel like is going to be pretty big in the thriller community come fall and winter. I think it's going to get a lot of hype. I personally just didn't think the big twist at the end was all that great, but I'm seeing people rave about it, and the people that it works for, it's gonna really, really work for. Plus, it's beautifully written, so. That is the wrap up of the vlog. Overall, it went pretty well, other than Miss Karen. I am a little devastated about that, but that is gonna be it for me today, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, go ahead and give it a like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And don't forget to go to therapy and read a book this week. I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.